Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel. Today I was thinking about doing an end of October garden tour with you guys. It is literally going to be Halloween tomorrow, but we have this random hot day today that's like 20 degrees. So I felt like it was the perfect time to be taking you guys on a garden tour. And if you watch my allotment videos, you know this already, but otherwise I just got back from Turkey, and so I haven't been at all at home for the past 2 weeks. And so I haven't really walked around my garden at all since I've been back. And so this will be a tour where both of us are looking at stuff together for the first time. So when I got back, one of the things I was most surprised about was how much is actually still blooming. So I have some yarrow. The yarrow is still blooming here, but really we did get a massive rainstorm last night, and so it kind of killed everything. But all of my cosmos were still blooming as of yesterday before the rainstorm. And I actually have a bunch of statice is still blooming, and these make for really good dry flowers. So I'm actually going to cut these all today. Normally you shouldn't cut any flowers or save seeds after a rainstorm, but it might be my last chance, and so I am going to cut these and dry these later because I love having dried flowers in my house. And let's see what else is going on around here. So I have this cherry tree here, and I'm actually really sad. It gave out cherries. This is the second year that we've had it, and it gave out cherries for us, and it grew all kinds of new branches. You can see something ate it, and it was like the only part of the tree that was growing new branches was at the bottom here, and literally it got demolished, and I'm so upset about it. I don't know why or what. And it left like a bunch of the branches on the ground. This is a Romeo variety, and so it's specifically made for zone 5 and colder. I think it came out of the University of Saskatchewan, and it's self-pollinating. It's a sour cherry, and it has a sibling, Juliet, that you can also get too. And the cherries were actually half decent on it, but now I don't know what's gonna happen next year. So the black-eyed Susans are still blooming a little bit. They look like they have some fresh leaves on them. And then my hellebores are happy, as they always are. And then I've got so much powdery mildew on this peony. I really need to cut it back still. I think I'm gonna do a bunch of work today while it's still hot. And then I've got a little bit of yarrow that is still blooming here. And so I've been trying to decide what I want to do right around the cherry tree here, because I made an L-shaped garden here and then a straight one there, and it's so hard to mow this area, and then all the grass comes in around the base of the tree. And so I'm trying to decide if I want to expand the gardens all the way into the cherry tree here, or if I want to remove the grass and just put some wood chips here. I'm not quite sure what to do. So if you have any ideas, I would be happy to hear them, because you guys always have such good ideas. And so this is what I did. I built this pathway, and the goal was to have these really high flowers, so it kind of felt like you were in this field, because we have such a large front yard that I thought it would be such a fun idea. And then this is where I was growing my cucumbers and my chamomile, and I still have a little bit of gomphrena here. And I don't know if I want to keep this here, because it's obviously pretty ugly. It's just this random spot here, but it gets good sunlight for squash, but it's just really ugly. So I don't know what the plan is here either. I tried to grow pumpkins here 2 years ago, and it failed really bad. And then my currant tree, this is all the same. The grass is cutting into here, because these are all new gardens that I built when I moved in. So I need to work on edging this out around the lilac here in my currant tree, and then I've got a lavender, or two maybe. So I need to do a way better job of edging right here. On to the backyard. The garden has way more flowers in it than I thought it would. And then you can see the stuff that I started working on before I left for Turkey and never finished. So I got old buckets sitting here, and this one's my favorite. If you guys caught the video of October garden tasks to do, this is the eucalyptus that I was taking out of the pot and cleaning up to bring indoors. It never made it inside. Okay guys, this Sony that I have is the dumbest thing ever. There's a button on it where you can film video, and then if the same button switches to another setting that films it at 5 times slowness. So I just filmed a bunch of my garden tour in slow-mo. So I have to start over. I just realized that we have the Gardena reel still plugged in, and we need to take that down before winter hits. But I have a lot of stuff that I just didn't do that I should have. I still have quite a lot of celery left, and so I want to pick the celery and juice it. And then I have some carrots, and I picked one for you guys, but obviously that didn't work. Right here. This sad little carrot that I picked for you. And then I've got some lettuce over here. And then past my mess, I have, these are all a bunch of dill growing, and that looks like a weed. This was my zucchini here. And then I have a bunch of cucumbers, and so this is a Chicago pickling cucumber, and so they go orange when they're ready to collect seed. I wasn't planning on saving seed from them, but they're these wonky shaped cucumbers that I never ended up picking. And so that is what is left of them. So maybe I'll save seeds from that one. And then I really have nothing left in here except for one leek there and another leek here. And this Swiss chard did surprisingly poorly compared to how my other ones did. So I don't think I'll ever plant Swiss chard in this garden. And then here's my Brussels sprout, and so this was actually a Brussels sprout from last year, and it never grew, so I retransplanted it, and so I think it's actually just going to go to seed this year. It never gave me any sprouts though, so I'm not going to save seeds from it, but I liked the idea of growing a Brussels sprout, so that's what that is. And then in this cold frame here, I have a bunch of kale, which is probably going to seed because I planted that really early in the springtime. And so I don't think I'm eating off this anymore, so I do have to pull it up. And then over here, I've got strawberries and oregano, and I have the window back there that I need to replace it with. So on here, I put in a chicken wire top to keep these squirrels out of my strawberries, which unfortunately doesn't stop the mice, but in the winter time, I will put the window back on it, just like this one, because the strawberries survive the winter so much better in a cold frame. And then this comfrey is going with me to the allotment. If you watch my allotment videos, you know I'm going to chop this right down to the base and use it as mulch at the allotment to help fertilize the soil over there. And then this is my out of control raspberries. I obviously had a bunch that were coming that got hit by frost, so I've lost all kinds of blooms here, which sucks. But I was able to pick about a dozen berries when I got home. This one's not quite ripe yet, so I'll have to wait and hope it ripens today. There's a few more over here as well. But it looks like, whoop, I hit my head. Looks like I'm losing the leaves on the haskap here. All these sticks are just the haskap berries. Totally out of control. I got some sage down here and over here as well. Who knows? This place is out of control. This is my perennial garden. Everything is dead in it now. And I have a ton of burdock in here. It's funny, I was watching a Gardener's World episode from a few weeks ago, and Francis did this whole bit on the difference between foxglove and burdock. And it was like the most useful clip of the entire episode for me, because this garden is full of both foxglove and burdock. And so now I know how to identify the two. For now, the burdock is way bigger than the foxglove, but next year won't be quite the same. So I've got this like massive burdock here, but then all of these ones here, that one's a foxglove, but I think that one's burdock. pretty sure that one's foxgloves, how they have the narrower. And then this one has, he was showing like how it comes up like this versus the foxglove is all flat right there. It just goes straight down to the stem. So I have to look at all of these ones that have this and pull these out because they're quite spaced hogs. So I'm pretty sure that one's a burdock too. And then yesterday or the day before, all my zinnias were still looking pretty nice, but that rainstorm really did them in. Look at this one. That's a massive burdock. Look at the size of it. Oh my God. That needs to come out because it's just stealing space. And then all of these were all in such good shape when I got back from Turkey, and the rainstorm really did them in. They're also closed right now, but I was gonna cut these to dry. I have a ton of status still that I will cut today. And I guess I had a hollyhock here that was starting to bloom. That burdoc's so big it hurts my insides. So I'm gonna cut all the status today. That sedum's looking amazing. And then I got my blanket flower here, which is still blooming, and the cone flowers. Okay, this is the fun part. What is left in the garden here? Look how much it sinks. That is so much soil sinking. This is from having branches underneath. So as the branches break down, they collapse the soil. So we constantly have to be getting new soil. That is a large amount that we need to refill. Swiss chard, always amazing, does amazing things. So endless Swiss chard that we can eat. Oh, so much sunken soil. And obviously these peppers we're doing, that thing can be harvested. Then some more celery over here. And then in this garden, same thing for me. Just beautiful, beautiful Swiss chard. These things are so thick. Like, it looks like a beet. Let me see if I can take you around. This is the size of the Swiss chard stem. It's like a massive beet. This one grew really high up, and this one's still just growing nicely at the base. And then I had some eggplants that were left behind, and the ground cherries obviously died from the frost. And then I've got a few leeks left. So it'll be nice to pick those leeks and then continue to harvest this beautiful Swiss chard here. And then over in my pepper bed, there's nothing going on here. I cut everything down right before we left and harvested, I guess, almost everything, since there's a jalapeno there. And so it's all mulched up, and then I'm just gonna leave the stems up and I'll cut them in the springtime. And so I just have a few jobs left now. That rain barrel still has water in it. That's where I made my comfrey tea. If you saw the video on how to make comfrey tea, I still have it in there. So I'm just going to attach this hose and run it into the gardens to give them some fertilizer. And then this one here has worm casting tea in it, and so I am going to also empty this rain barrel into my gardens to feed the soil before the winter comes. So a couple tasks I have left to do. And then I have a couple more raspberries over here, but I don't know what variety I bought. I do have black raspberries here, and then these ones are normal raspberries. And I've never met a raspberry I don't like, but this variety I do not like, which I can't believe. That's the first time this has ever happened to me. Every berry's not that good. It's not that juicy. The flavor isn't that great. So, first time that this has ever happened to me. I'm hoping maybe next year they'll taste better. I don't know. Okay, I just have one more thing to show you, and then we are done for this video. I know that most things look dead, but I was surprised by how much stuff isn't dead yet. And so I'm going to show you my little secret area in the garage of where I put stuff to avoid doing work. So let me show you. All right, welcome to my messy garage. This is where I put my canna lilies because I didn't have time to dig them up and save the tubers, but they are totally happy. I have a really sad hydrangea back here, and then this is where I actually stored all my stuff. So I have a really, really dirty window right here. So they've all had access to sunlight this whole time that I've been gone, and the warmth of the garage. I have my mushroom buckets here doing nothing. I have so much guilt, so much garden guilt about these mushrooms right now. But look at that. How nice is that? A little dahlia flower there. So I have all my dahlias to dig up. That one looks like it's gonna bloom over here too. Dahlias, I have the eucalyptus. I don't know how this is gonna overwinter. These are hydrangeas. I'm not sure if they're still alive. A rudbeckia, and really I just put all this stuff here because I had so much to do before we went away to Turkey, and I just didn't have the time for it. You know, I was building blog posts and making videos for you guys, and then also trying to clean up the cushions and the rain barrels, and to work full-time and also have a garden that you have to close down. I think October is probably like one of the least favorite times for all of us, because who really wants to close down their garden? So this is my dirty little secret in the garage for now. While I continue to show you my embarrassing things that I've got that I'm avoiding here, behind this piece of plywood, I have a hydroponic system that I need to bring in. Oh, it's so embarrassing, all the junk I have everywhere, but I think it's fairly relatable that other people have junk around. So yeah, I gotta bring this hydroponic system in so I can use it during the winter time. And then I'm also going to be planning my garden using my square foot garden planner. If you haven't seen it already, I will put it right here and you can check it out, and I'll put it in the link below if you wanted to download it. It's this really cool interactive tool where you can plan your garden based off of what you want to plant, and it'll tell you how many plants you need. It's super cool. I find it really useful for either a list of seedlings that you need to buy or what you need to plant, because we are already 2 months away from seed starting season. Can you believe it? We get a 2-month break and then we're back at it again. So that's pretty much everything for this video. I hope you enjoyed it. And if you wanted to let me know in the comments below what other junky messes you have laying around to make me feel better, I would appreciate that. Otherwise, I hope you have a lovely day, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.